Well, good morning, everybody. It's Sunday, January 3rd, 2021. Boom! There you go. That's exciting. Well, we got a New Year's themed service for this week. First or second Sunday after Christmas, and we're still in the Christmas mode, which is great because I think Christmas needs to last a little bit longer than our stores and perhaps maybe our habits. Our habits indicate. I think that Christmas is it's a church season like other church seasons, like Advent and Lent and that kind of thing, and it lasts a little bit longer than many people might think. It's really, this year it's 2 Sundays afterwards. Epiphany is officially on Wednesday, and then so next week is the first Sunday in Epiphany, and we're gonna do a little fun thing, interesting thing that I think will hopefully will last the whole year long, starting next Sunday, and you'll see that announced in the service that is going to air after this broadcast, and it'll be a substantial part of next week. I have a special guest coming in via Zoom. That would be Reverend Molly Bell from Orleans United Church. She's going to join me for a little interview about Star Words, which is the thing I'm just talking about. So we've got that going on. Candles of Hope and Remembrance is another item that we're gonna do next week, one way or another. I don't quite know how to go about this, to be honest. I've been thinking about it for several weeks now. In the back of my mind, where the parts of my mind that weren't crowded with visions of sugar plums and Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But we'll figure something out. But because normally what people would do, for those of you who may not be familiar, and it might be some of you, Candles of Hope remembers, people would take a candle at the beginning of the service and be handed out with your bulletin. And you would take that candle and bring it up to the front, and you would light it from the Christ candle. You place it in these sandbox candle holders that Laverne Palmer made, and that would be our Candles of Hope. I think last year we did tea lights. Yeah, it was one of those things where it was one of those chicken or the eggs questions. Maybe you remember. Maybe somebody's got the information, or maybe somebody already told me and I forgot. With all the stuff that's happened last year, we can forgive each other for forgetting details like this. But I remember we had these sand boxes. They're like wooden boxes, and they've got like a bunch of holes in them, just the right size for certain candles. And it was always hard to find the candles to match the sandboxes. And I'm wondering if maybe the sandboxes were made to match a batch of candles that we had at one point. And then it became, well, let's get candles to match the sandbox. And every year it was difficult to find the right candles to match the sandbox. But we got locked into that tradition. And it just became de rigueur. It became like, okay, this is how we have to do it. It has to be done this way, out of habit more than anything else. And I also think out of deference for the people who made the sandbox, probably Laverne, probably there was some thinking, oh, well, we need to use these. Laverne spent a lot of time making this. So I'm sure it was like a lot of like, well, let's honor his work, which is what we're supposed to do. But at the same time, it did create a little bit of a problem, because I know every year we were like, oh, do we have candles? And where did we get them? And let's try a few out. No, these didn't work. Oh, these worked. And let's make sure that they're all set. And the ones last year, if we had, are they good enough still? Oh, this one's a little charred. This one's got some wax dripping. Maybe we shouldn't use that one. Oh, I think it's all right. So that was the dance that we had in the office every year leading up to Candles of Hope and Remembrance. So we decided last year, yes, we did, just to use tea lights on a little table in the front. And that worked out really nicely. I think Paul Bourne took some really pretty pictures of that. Maybe we'll find a place. Maybe this year when we're announcing it, we'll take some of his pictures and put them up to let you know. Paul, if you're watching this, maybe send us one of those if you have it. And we'll put that up. Anyway, so we'll do something. The thing about video and filming at night is you can make the church look different and really, really quite pretty with light. Some photographers talk about photography is really just painting with light. And so that's what we can do. We can fool around with that a little bit. So that's happening this week. I was going to take next Sunday off because this takes some doing, all these videos and stuff, and just the running around. And anyway, it felt like, oh, it's time for a bit of a break. But But I thought, you know what? I don't want the new year to I don't want to get too far into the new year before we started doing these things, because I don't know, it just feels like this is the Candles of Hope and Remembrance. It's something we ought to be doing right at the beginning of the year. Same thing with the Star Words. There's some logic in doing that early in the year as well. So I thought, okay, well, I'll do it on the 10th, and then I'll take the 17th off. And for the 17th, I'm just going to throw it over to the regional service. And you'll be in the capable hands of my colleagues and quite possibly me, because I'll probably have a part to record for that as well. So so that's happening. In terms of other announcements, I don't know if I mentioned this in the service. I probably did not. But the envelopes are going out. So Nancy Hawley and the folks who have been helping her have been dropping envelopes off to people's houses. That's been great. We haven't really had or have created the opportunity yet to talk in the office and among the council about how we want to treat the new lockdown. We've been pretty much locked down church-wise since March, but we haven't discussed what the latest strictures mean for us. I think it probably means thinking even doubly hard about whether or not we really need to come into the church during the daytime, at least. The daycare is there. It's an essential service for many reasons. First of all, it allows the parents to work. Parents don't work. They don't earn. So much stress gets caused by that. And that's the secondary consequences of the lockdown. It's the mental illness that can come. So, I mean, having the church open for the kids and for the parents is such a blessing for that community. So that's good. It also provides employment, and it also makes me feel like the church is not going fallow. It's being used in a life-giving, essential way. So that's good. All that to say is, let's not come into the church during the daytime unless it's absolutely necessary. And I would think like something like absolutely necessary would be like stopping an active leak, that kind of thing. If there's something you want to drop off or pick up, then maybe weekends something can be arranged on weekends or weeknights, but we don't want folks coming in. And I think that just makes sense. I think everybody agrees with that. And one thing that has really impressed me about our church community is that people have been taking this lockdown and so seriously. Unlike other congregations, there has not been this pressure to come back for a regular, like Sunday worship that seems to be present in other denominations. That's good. That means we love each other and we're finding a way through this. There were times when we did get together outside. Our carol sing was an example of that. Even that felt a little bit, I don't know. I felt a little bit, and afterwards I was a little bit, because there was a lot of us there, but people were wearing masks, and they didn't look like it on the video so much, but in real life they were kind of stretched out. So that was good. But it further demonstrates the human draw to each other, to be in community with each other. We've always been that way. I mean, it's biblical, but it's also anthropological as well. I mean, it's just what people do. Anyway, had I had my head screwed on straight, I would have sung this song for this week's service, because this week's service is all about the new year. It's all about turning and returning and going forward and looking back. And anyway, you'll see. I've got some Christmas songs in there, Epiphany type sort of song, Christmas season songs, and so that's good. Next week we'll really double down on the Epiphany theme. But anyway, I'm gonna do something I haven't done on one of these live broadcasts yet, and that is to sing a little song. And I think probably you'll know it. Be nice if I had. Oh, there we go. I don't know. I don't have the I don't have the words up on the screen, but you probably know the chorus. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never come to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and auld lang syne. For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. And surely you'll buy your pint cup, and surely I'll buy mine. And we'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. We too have run about the slopes and picked the daisies fine, but we've wandered many, weary afoot since auld lang syne. For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. We too have paddled in the stream from morning until dawn, but seas between us broad have roared since auld lang syne. For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. And there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give me a hand o' thine. We'll take a right goodwill draft from auld lang syne. For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. All right, folks, it's 10:29. The service is going to start in about 1 minute. And, well, I guess we'll see you on the other side for coffee hour. Drop on in. If you haven't dropped in for the Zoom coffee hour, we don't meet for long. In fact, it's getting a little bit shorter as time goes on. But it's a good chance to kind of check in with each other. And sometimes we pass along some information, and sometimes we come up with plans, too. So so drop on by to the Zoom coffee hour, and it's time to end this stream because the service is going to start in, 1 minute. Peace.